Hello, good day everyone. Welcome to Harmless TV. Please subscribe and click notification bell. Thank you. If you are subscribed before, thank you and God bless you. Pope Francis has come down with a slight indisposition, forcing him to cancel a planned mass in Rome, just a day after he expressed his solidarity with coronavirus sufferers around the world as the disease continued to spread across Italy. The illness has forced the 82-year-old pontiff to nix a penitential mass, making the start of Lent that he had planned to celebrate at the St. John Lateran Basilica across town with Roman clergy, the Vatican said. Francis will proceed with the rest of his planned work Thursday, but prefer to stay near Santa Marta, the Vatican hotel where he lives, officials said. The Vatican has not specified the nature of the Pope's illness, but he was seen coughing and blowing his nose during Ash Wednesday Mass. 3 cases were reported in Rome, but each person has already recovered. During a general audience in St. Peter's Square on Ash Wednesday, the Pope expressed his support for the coronavirus sufferers. I wish again to express my closeness to those who are ill with coronavirus and to healthcare workers who are caring for them, he said, according to Vatican News. Pope Francis has not specifically met with coronavirus sufferers, but shook hands with the faithful in front row during the audience. He also kissed a baby during his Pope mobile spin through St. Peter's Square and greeted visiting bishop, but the clergy members appeared to refrain from kissing his ring or embracing him as they normally would. There have now been 17 deaths in Italy connected to the coronavirus. More than 650 people have tested positive for the virus in Italy as of Thursday, with most cases concentrated in the northern Lonbard'Y 403 and Veneto 111 region of Italy, although the region of Emilia-Romagna now has almost 100 positive cases. The governor of the region of Lonbard'Y, at the epicenter of Italy's coronavirus outbreak, has placed himself in quarantine after one of his staff came down with the disease. Attilio Fontana, who has held repeated news conference this past week to explain how his region is dealing with the flare-up, announced the news on Facebook late on Wednesday and videoed himself putting on a surgical face mask. For now, I don't have any type of infection, so I can continue to work. But for 2 weeks, I will try to live in a sort of self-isolation, he said. In Lonbard'Y, the epicenter of the recent outbreak, some 40 patients have fully recovered by Thursday, which 14 has died. There have been 17 deaths connected to the coronavirus in Italy at the time of writing. Again, most of these have occurred in Lonbard'Y, where the recent outbreak began. There have been 2 deaths in the northern eastern region of Veneto and 1 in Emilia-Romagna. Most of the 17 victims who have died were elderly, many over the age of 80. Some of them have underlying health conditions, including cancer. On Wednesday, the EU stressed that the outbreak of the novel coronavirus in Europe is concerning, but no reason for alarm. This is a situation of concern, but we must not give in to a panic. EU Health Commissioner Stella Kyriakides told reporters in Rome after meeting Italian Health Minister Roberto Speranza. We must also be vigilant when it comes to misinformation and disinformation, as well as xenophobic statements which are misleading citizens and putting in question the work of public authorities, she added. Italian authorities have also urged calm with taking action, sometimes draconian, to halt the spread of the virus. It's important to remember that according to the World Health Organization, some 80% of those infected will only suffer mild symptoms. Some 5% end up in a critical condition. The first 2 cases of COVID-19 in Italy in January were Chinese nationals on holiday in Rome, followed by an Italian national who was repatriated to Rome from Wuhan in China. The more recent cases are in people who had not recently been in China, meaning that they contracted the virus in Italy from other carriers. 11 towns in Lonbard'Y and 1 in Veneto have been shuttered. The first 2 cases of COVID-19 in Italy in January were Chinese nationals in holiday in Rome, followed by an Italian national who was repatriated to Rome from Wuhan in China. The more recent cases are in people who had not recently been to China, meaning that they contracted the virus in Italy from other countries here. 11 towns in Lombardy and one in Veneto have now been shuttered in an attempt to halt the spread of the virus. Schools, public squares and venues have been closed, and carnival festivities cancelled across Italy as authorities fight to contain the outbreak. Italian authorities have also announced fines for anyone caught entering or leaving outbreak areas without special permission. Numerous events have been cancelled, and football matches in Serie A will be taking place behind closed doors. Prime Minister Joseph Conte urges people not to give in to panic and follow the advice of health authorities. Italy had already declared a state of emergency over coronavirus on January 31st after the first 3 cases had been confirmed, increasing health checks on people arriving in Italy and setting aside €5 million to manage the situation over the next 6 months. Italy was the first country to suspend all flights to and from China. Controls by thermal scanners previously reserved for passengers arriving from areas hit by the deadly virus are now being extended to all flights, including from Europe. Italy's Civil Protection Agency said the authorities are considered introducing similar checks at train stations. At Rome Fiumicino Airport, the controls were extended to domestic flights as well. France has vowed not to close the border with Italy despite the spread of the virus. Closing down borders would make no sense, as the calculation of the virus is not just limited to administrative borders, said French Junior Transport Minister Jean-Baptiste Djibari. Although on Wednesday, Donald Trump said he was mulling to travel ban on Italy, and Israel turned away flight passengers from Italy over fears of the virus. Trump described Italy as a deeper problem and said, "We are checking people coming in very, very strongly for those, and to some point we may cut that off." At the moment, US authorities urges caution for travelers with pre-existing health problems or were visiting affected areas. The Italian government evacuated more than 50 Italian nationals from Wuhan and the surrounding Hubei region, flying them to a military airport near Rome. All passengers were checked by doctors on arrival and placed in quarantine for 2 weeks as a precaution. What is coronavirus? It is a respiratory illness which belongs to the same family as the common cold. The outbreak in the Chinese cities of Wuhan, which is an international transport hub, began at a fish market in late December. According to the World Health Organization, more than 80% of patients infected with the virus have mild symptoms and recovered, while 14% develop severe diseases such as pneumonia. Around 5% of cases are considered critical, while only 2% prove fatal. The elderly and people with conditions with weaken their immune systems are most likely to develop severe symptoms. What are the symptoms? The initial symptoms are not dissimilar to the common flu, as the virus belongs to the same family. The symptoms include cough, headache, fatigue, fever, itching, and difficulty breathing. COVID-19 is primarily spread through airborne contact or contact with contaminated objects. Its incubation period is 2 to 14 days with an average of 7 days. How can I protect myself? You should take the same precaution in Italy that you would do anywhere else. Wash hands thoroughly and often with soap and water, especially after coughing and sneezing or before eating. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, especially with unwashed hands. Cover your nose and mouth when you cough or sneeze. Avoid close contact with people who have symptoms of respiratory illness. Wear a mask if you suspect you are ill or if you are assisting someone else who is ill. Clean off surface with alcohol or chlorine-based disinfectant. Thanks for watching.